Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as promised, is how I construct a altered hoop. So, with the collab project coming up, you know I bought a small hoop in error, and I went and bought the actual hoop size that I really wanted to use. So this is my base for the collab, and of course I'm still working on it, so it is dried now and ready to begin the embellishing. But for today's video, we are going to work on the smallest hoop because I figured we could get more bang for our buck out of this one. So what you will need is some paper. You do preferably want to use double-sided, but you can back this up, and I will do another circle here on the back. All you do is lay your embroidery hoop on your paper. If it is double-sided, you know, I would use a pencil, nothing that would bleed through your paper or anything, but you can just simply lay your hoop on top and circle and trace the outside of the rim all the way around, all the way up to this little knobby part of the hoop, and then you can just cut that. Typically it does give you a little bit of a lip in some areas. It's not perfect. I'm sure that you could I'm sure there's a tool that cuts out circles in whatever dimension your hoop is. I think this one is a 4-inch, but I don't have any special tools, so I just traced it. Then I flipped it over and covered this in E6000. You can use hot glue or any sturdy liquid glue that you prefer. The reason I like to use E6000 is because I'm going to put stuff in this. So this one will eventually be holding probably a sequins mix or something small, because this one is small. So that is the absolute naked base, okay? What you are going to do now in order to make a pocket, you don't have to make pockets. You can use this and decorate this as it is, but if you want to make a pocket so that you can tuck a little goodie inside, all you're going to do is trace another circle. So before you glue this down, just go ahead and trace 2 circles, and then you're going to, I kind of eyeballed according to the image where I wanted it to hit, and so I cut it right there. And so you can see I cut it in half. So now both this image, the graphics on here will show, and this will show. The reason I chose a more neutral background for this part is because we have already created a little Halloween mix to go with this paper collection, which is Spellcast by Pink Paisley. So I've already created the sequins mix for it, and I wanted the sequin mix to kind of be the focal point and this background the focal point, not so much this. So that's why I went neutral. So once you have this cut to whatever length or whatever dimension you want for your pocket, you are going to take the excess part and you're going to make yourself a little template, because you have to cover your little glue gun boo-boo when you're done, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I used the very top of the paper, that's why this is flat, but you're just going to center it up and cut off any excess to make it even. And this is just going to make sure that nothing that you stick inside the hoop when it's done is going to catch on any of the undone glue portions. I already pulled out my tool. You can also make a pocket, and I have done this a couple years back. You can make shaker pockets out of the plastic or the Fuse tool does make plastic sheets you can buy. Is that acetate? Yeah, acetate. You can make an acetate pocket the same exact way, but I don't particularly care for my little tool, the heat tool. It doesn't come out as clean for me, and this takes a lot less effort. So what you want to do to create your tool pocket, and this would also be okay for you to use as embellishments, that, you know, the same application would apply. So you could do just about anything when it comes to the tool method. Some people find it quite messy. I don't mind so much, but forewarning, you do need a little finger rubber for your glue gun because you're going to be touching hot glue. So very first, I want to go ahead and run a thin glue bead of hot glue around the edge, and you want to get as far over to the edge as possible, just because you're going to cover this, so it doesn't matter that it's really not the cleanest, but just put a small bead down to start. If my glue gun, this is a brand new glue gun and it's not. I've had it on since lunch. Maybe that's the problem. But I don't know what's going on here. There we go. It was stopped up. Okay, so start your little glue bead along the corner. Go ahead and get your tool laid down. And that didn't even stick, so and then I just smush it down. And you want to keep going, just making sure that you start a new bead right where you kind of left off, so there are no gaps and no sequins will come out. And I'm sure there's more tutorials out there, but I figured, why not do this together so you guys could see my making process. If you can see with my finger rubber, I'm pushing the glue out. So if there's going to be more of a mess than necessary, it'll be to the outside of the tool, and we are going to cover this. So it won't matter how messy this is. You see there's hot glue overflow here. It's okay. So we've got that pretty well closed, and we don't have any openings, we don't think. So I'm going to go ahead and get the sequin mix inside the tool. And let's see, that might be too much. So we'll let some come out. Okay. Alright, that looks better. That one looks like a googly eye, but I promise it's not. Now, what you're going to do is go ahead and close your tool. And you don't want to make your tool, if you noticed, I didn't pull the tool very tight as I was going around it. You need to leave a little bit of give in the tool because you want the shakers to be able to shake. And so if you made it really stretched flat, they wouldn't be able to shake. Okay, so that is now our little shaker bit. Now, you could very well trim this, fold this, however you want to do it. But we are just going to trim the edges all the way around. Excuse me. Alright, so that is cut. And it shakes really well. Give it the old loosey-goosey test and nothing falls out. So what I'm going to do now is lay down the back, and I'm just going to use two-sided, my little runner here. And this way, my little pocket is sturdy. And there is my little shaker pocket. So now we are going to run E6000 along the edge. Then bead, because this stuff can be messy. And if you get any spillage, just clean it up a little bit. And then because this is wet glue and I do want it to sit for a little while, we're going to make this a two-parter. We're going to decorate it in the next video. And I'll make sure I try and zoom the camera in for that video. But what I'm going to do now is take a quick break. My dogs are barking, so I need to let them outside. But I'm going to lay this upside down so that the E6000 has a better chance to set. I think that'll be okay. I wish E6000 would begin setting immediately. I love it, but that would be my only critique. You could also sit things on top of it carefully to have them set. You could lay a book on top, whatever you have handy. So like I said, we'll be back in part 2, and I'm going to go ahead, take a break, like I said, cut out some ephemera, and I will catch you guys in part 2. Much love!